Un momento, por favor. All right, we are now live. Should be good. All right, how's everybody doing today? We got a little bit of movement going on here, finally. All right. Got a question for everybody though, because I want to make sure everybody understands the signals the way I've been posting them, because I don't want, I know that I had a certain way of posting signals before, and let's just look at them right now. If I go back, I was posting signals like this, and you guys tell me how you prefer it. I was just given a screenshot like this: XRP long, entry $2.93, stop loss $2.84, TP $4, and a screenshot. And then more recently, I've been doing it like this. Especially if I take the trade on the live call, but I've been doing it like this, where I will post my current open positions going into the week, XRP, ETH, and Bitcoin, and I'll just post the stop losses here. But on here, you can see my entry price right here. You can see the leverage that I'm using here. You can see my estimated liquidation. You can see my margin and everything there. If I don't have TPSL on here, I put it here. So just let me know which way you guys prefer. I'll do it either way. It just takes longer to type it all out, and sometimes it's easier just to screenshot the open position, even if it's just one. Like if I'm about to enter the position, instead of doing it the way, I think sometimes it's better just to screenshot the actual open position so you can see all the details of it. But I am curious to know what you guys' opinion is on it.
I really like it, Nico.
I like the screenshot is fine, but that's me personally.
Option
Thank you,
two,
by the way.
Nico. Option two, baby.
Yeah, Nico, you hit the nail right on the head whenever you said it takes time for you to type all that stuff up. By the time you do that, I mean, we may or may not have, missed the opportunity to get in. That's not always 100% true, but it does, take you about 2 or 3 minutes to do that. You do the screenshot, we can get in, then you can come in with a stop loss, take profit later. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes less time.
I like that I can see what leverage you're on.
Yeah, if you could, guys, just type in the chat. I know some of you have already what you prefer. And I know some of you have already, but all right. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving anybody behind. I know that there are some people that cannot make it to the live calls, and so they might be confused by that. But Maxine says, are we allowed to have both so we can leverage and try to figure out chart for the bet? Yeah, I'll do both. I mean, I'll try to type in, I'll do the screenshot and then I'll type in the details and the screenshot. 1 second. All right. All right. I'm sorry about that, guys. Let me just get back over here. I'm sharing the screen now. All right, so we're looking at XRP. We see an overall upward trending wedge, basically an upward trending channel, and we are hitting the bottom. And it looks like this is what we were waiting for the last couple of days since the last call. We were somewhere up in here, and I gave a couple updates like this one here yesterday, showing if we break out of this to the upside or the downside, what can happen. And looks like we started to move. Then I posted this morning. Look, we're getting to the top of it and possibly about to break out of the top. We have not broken out yet, and that's kind of what it's looking like. But it is looking like it probably will. I mean, we generally needed to bounce off this upward trending support first, and that's kind of what it was doing, trying to get over to this area. We're at 293, however, which is a little bit higher than it was. Obviously, I think we dipped all the way down to 270 down here just last week. It's been a while. It's taken a couple days, taken all week just to get back up to the top of this little wedge here. So that's where we're at right now. Current open positions, like I shared there on Bitcoin. But I will include a little bit more like the charts, because I do realize that I was also including a screenshot of the charts. And that's why I wanted to ask, because you'll see that when I give just the screenshot of the actual trade setup, it was usually after, giving updates on the charts. But I'll include the chart with this as well, so you can see what's going on, because I think that would make it a little bit more sense, especially if I'm talking about both Bitcoin and ETH or XRP. All right. It does look, however, on Bitcoin that we are breaking out of a downward trending channel from the top of this overall wedge. Yeah, looks like we're, well, I don't know what we're breaking out of here, because we did break to the upside, but we did not come all the way to the bottom upward trending support, which is okay. We did come down all the way to 108. Let's see, where did we come down to? I came down to right about, the 108K, and that was on September 27th, and pumped nicely. Now we're at the 117, 118. This is the previous high we need to take out, which is where we're at right now. And I think I did mention that on one of the last calls as well. We need to get back up to this level right here. And these are the previous highs lower high, lower high, lower high. We need to get above the previous high. Generally speaking, that's usually how it works. This one here, before we really know that we're out of the woods yet. Because if we have a lower high here, it gets up close, but it doesn't get higher. Then, in other words, we get up right about here and we can't get above that level. We already went above the 115. Right here is the level we're talking about, and we are hitting it right now at 117.7. That's all positive. We are moving up, price is pumping, and that is Bitcoin. What I see happening, guys, and what's going on is, we have government shutdown. And, obviously crypto people don't care about that. And it's just another sign that the government is, inadequate and not capable of, they're childish. If you look at the reasons why the Democrats shut the government down, it was basically to get healthcare funding for illegal immigrants. It's just some of the things that are just so absurd in this country that don't even make sense. So, and that's just one probably of many things, but the reality is that it doesn't stop. The government doesn't really do much for us, doesn't do much for you. When you think, oh my God, the government's shutting down, what is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. You still breathe, your power's still on, you can still go to work, you can still make money, you can still get in your car and drive, you can go get your hair done, you can go on vacation. Nothing changes except for some government employees won't be able to go to work, or some government employees will still get paid even then they stay home. So our taxpayer dollars are still funding them to work even when they're not. That's the messed up part about that. And on top of that, scared money or smart money, whichever you want to put it, piles into alternative asset classes, crypto, gold, silver, things like that. So we got a little bit of a pump today on that news, and hopefully it keeps going. We need to get up. We need to break this 117.7 level right here, and we might have a little bit of a pullback before that happens. Let me go to the lower time frame and see what's going on. That was the daily, so we got one big candle on the daily, and we've got a nice climb, steady climb on the hourly, right up to that level. This could be looked at as a possible cup and handle, maybe. Does kind of resemble one, but we're already kind of pumped up to that level, if that is one. Actually, I don't think that was one. That could be one there, but this could be one here. We already did that little pump. Let's see here, what do we got? We do have obviously some upward trending support coming up to resistance here at this previous high. The next one after that would be here at all-time high. Maybe some resistance around this level right here. Not maybe, there will be. I'm just going to put that there for now. That would be the 122.5 zone. As soon as we break through that. So we're hoping to stay above this this upward trending support line right here. The hell?
It's look like a nice W forming on the daily, but it doesn't pass the middle yet.
Yeah,
We can see.
nice W that she mentioned right here. And that can certainly bring us up to the top of this upward trending and beyond. So this would be the top of the W. And I would just be a little bit conservative there, but yeah, probably right to the top. Because it doesn't come all the way to where my red lines are. It comes down to this level right here, which is the 108.9. And so that would be to the top of the W to the bottom of the W right there. And that would be right to that resistance line. Couple little resistance levels along the way. Maybe could just break right through those. All right, let's look at Ethereum. What's going on with Ethereum? Ethereum also breaking out of a downward widening wedge, widening channel. And to the upside, obviously, that is, oh, I'm not even in Bitcoin. Shit. I thought I was in a Bitcoin trade. I must have got taken out. Let me go look. What did I give you? What did I tell you guys? I was in. Damn, that was a good entry too. What in the hell? What day was this? 28th. Man, I was in down here. On that bounce. All right, so Ethereum, however, still going. I think that was the one on the last call that I told you I moved my stop loss too close overnight. I moved my stop loss into profit. It came down and took me out. Ethereum is breaking. We hit resistance here at the 3850 zone. We broke out. We hit it here and bounced. I think we do have like a little bit of a channel here. I would say that this is more of a price range somewhere in this zone right here. We did break up. We hit it here. We hit it here as resistance. We broke out and hit it here as support. And then we hit it here as support a couple times, broke down to the bottom of it, hit it as resistance, and then broke out again. So we had resistance at the bottom of this, support at the top of this. So we're obviously back above that now. And this would be the next resistance level at the top. So yeah, I think that's where we're on our way to right now. I'm going to put a TP up here at 47. I would say 47.33 on ETH. I didn't put any TPs in the signal, but I'm going to put it in here now. Could we break out higher? Yes. I'll be watching when it gets up to that level to see if we got a lot of momentum or if it's dying out. If our momentum is dying out and we have basically what it looks like is that on a lower time frame, so maybe the hourly, once we start to get to real resistance, the candles get smaller and smaller and smaller. They start to do this kind of thing. What in the heck is going on here with them? They start to get small like this once they pull up, when it's gonna go through it, they're big, long candles heading straight up like this. But when it starts to get close to something that is gonna be probably a turning point, they get smaller. So I have my TP there, but I'm gonna I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Obviously, we just pumped up and we had a nice little bull flag right here. Breaking to the upside of that. Where's that gonna take us? Look at that. It'll take us right to this level here, which is previous support and resistance. Somewhere up in this zone. And then we might hit some resistance there before breaking out to get any higher than that. So this is the falling point right here, guys. You can see this is where we literally fell off the cliff right here. And that was previous resistance, 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 support. And resistance going back quite a ways. So that's definitely where I think we're heading to right now, this zone. Probably should move my TP to there because we do need to break above that in order to get back up to the top of this channel. I do think that can happen, probably will happen, seeing that we went all the way to the bottom. And but I will keep an eye on it here. If I see big resistance here and a big drop back down, it's possible that that we're having a hard time, and we could then see a continuation of the downward pattern. But we did make a higher high here. This was the previous high. We did make a higher high, and now we need to get up and break through this one here. My stop loss is in profit. I did move that into profit, and I'm going to move it even further into profit. Probably I will keep it underneath that bull flag that just formed at 41.90 for now. So we go back here. Let's go to that last stop loss at 38.09. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna do this a little differently this time. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this.
Can you show again how you got the projected raise? The little purple line you put up in there?
Yes. $41.90. What did I just say? $41.90. Say that again. How I got what? How do I figure how high it's going to go? The projected raise. What did you?
Yes, I was going to say that.
So generally speaking, whenever there's a consistent resistance level, which is these highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, and you can draw a trend line there, and you see that is the resistance line. Whenever we break out of that, we generally need to sometimes it breaks out and it just goes up equal to the previous high. And then it comes back down. We need to get higher than this high, which it did right here, went up higher, created a bull flag. So what I do is I draw the bull flag, which is from the breakout. This is the breakout right here of this downward trend line. And it went up that high. So I draw a trend line that high and just get a trend line from over here. Draw the trend line and draw the flag. The breakout of the flag is generally equal to the distance of the flagpole. When I put that there and then draw a line there and bring it over, it also just so happens, and it's not luck, it's the way it always is, just so happens to be where we fell off here. where we had major support and resistance going all the way back to August 14th. So this is going to bring us right up to that level, and it will be resistance first before if we break right through, great. It becomes support. That's great. Then we'll be continuing up to the next resistance level, which was this high up here, where we had resistance, resistance. The reason why I didn't put it up here is because these broke through that level. This was the resistance. This one broke through, but it didn't hold, came right back below, and then held as resistance, went above, bounced, came back below, retested as resistance, went above, bounced as support, went below, and retested as resistance. So that is the line. And it just so happens to be, if I zoom out, you'll see held, broke through, retest, held, broke through, retest, held, broke through, retest. That's the line. And when I bring it all the way over, that's the top. It hit it here and resistance here, and then dropped. Now we're coming back up to that. We would need to come back up to that level before breaking out. I don't know. Did that answer your question? We cut this out. These don't matter anymore. Any other questions on that?
Hey, Nico, I just sent you a message here on Zoom.
Yeah, let me get a do we have someone named Coach J? Who's Coach J? Come off mute. Coach J. Anybody named Coach J?
They got cool emojis. I see their name. If you go by Coach J, come off mute. I want to answer your question that you've sent in chat, in DMs. No? Hold on one second, guys. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead and answer in the chat.
I have a question.
Okay.
With the last breakout, was it retested? I don't see it, or the green line is a little far down.
Which one?
This one you were looking at?
Ethereum?
Yeah,
This breakout did not retest.
okay.
It did create a bull flag and break to the upside, however. So sometimes that does happen. I would have waited for a retest, but we were already in it down here on this bounce. At least I was. That's what I shared. So we were in it on this bounce down here and this nice W pattern at the bottom. And it did break to the upside. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was going to break out of this pattern yet, but I did think that it was going to come to the top, which it did. And I moved my stop loss up in profit in case it came back down, but then it broke out overnight. And this is where we're at now. So I just moved my stop loss up to here, right on the breakout. It is certainly possible for it to come back and retest.
Do you think catalysts such as the shutdown have anything to do with it just running up without coming back?
I mean, it's hard to say that it didn't when it happened at the same time. It's possible, yes. I mean, there's a lot of weird things that happen. Trump could get on and say, I love Bitcoin. I'm going to make it the national currency, and the price of Bitcoin will drop. It does. Sometimes things don't make sense at all, but generally speaking, there is correlation between fear in government and price increase in crypto. So when there's fear in government, like the government is shutting down, things like that, we've noticed prices jump before. Generally speaking, I always tell everybody to stay out of the market when there's an announcement being made, like a Fed rate cut or something like that. I always say, if you're not already in a trade, wait for after the announcement, because there's usually a lot of volatility during that time. What we see sometimes happen is something like this, where we could be trending down like this, and then there's a rate cut announcement. And let's just say the price was right here. It would do one of these, boom, 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 and come right back into the same channel. And so I always say to wait. If you're not in a trade, wait for the announcement, because this is called whipsaw action. And whipsaw is the uncertainty in the market. People are not sure what's going to happen. A lot of people go long, a lot of people go short, a lot of just volatility, and it's better just to wait. But usually when the dust settles, it settles right back in to the same channel it was going before. So I generally, if you're already in a trade, then you might want to just be aware of that, and hopefully your liquidation or stop loss isn't too close to that whipsaw action.
Thank you.
Yeah. As far as catalyst. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you need me to speak? You said something about Coach Jay.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Jay. I didn't know who you were. I just saw Coach Jay, and you're in the Discord. It just says Coach Jay, and we like to see the names so we know who the members are in the group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been in the group since October, so I've been in it for a while. My name was Mr. New Hope at first, but then I changed it because it's football season and my son, I coach my son, so it's Coach Jay. That's what all the kids call me.
Okay. So what's your name in our group, in our mastermind?
It's Mr. New Hope, but I changed it to Coach Jay.
I mean, the name you signed up with when you joined.
It's Justin Trice.
Jasmine?
Justin, Jastin, like Justin, but with an A.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce. Or
Trice. Trice, Trice.
Gotcha. Okay, buddy. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. We just got some people saying that they're getting messages from Coach Jay. No one knew who it was.
Oh, no, that ain't me. It must be somebody else.
All good. All good. Okay. All right. So let me go back.
All that you need from me?
That's all. Yeah, that's all. I just want to know who Coach Jay was, because in our group, we generally have a rule in the Discord mastermind, guys, that you can't use. You can use an alias like Coach Jay or something, but just have your real name on it, attached to it as well, so that we know who we're talking to. There have been people who have literally hacked into Discord or hacked into, our mastermind and messaging people, and we don't know who they are. So it's very hard to figure out that without talking to them and asking them, or just removing them until we find out. But we didn't want to remove you yet. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome.
All right. Am I still sharing the screen? You guys see my screen okay? No, let me go back.
There it is now.
Hey, Nico, to go back on this Ethereum trade with the lady that was asking before about it being retested. If you go down to a lower time frame, like the 5-minute, it might have retested.
Yes, that's a good point. If you sometimes when you see these big pumps out like this, on the daily or the hourly, it may look like just one straight line up. But if you go to lower time frame, it might have came out and touched once before. So let me go down even lower. I'm on the 10-minute. Doesn't look like it did, but maybe it did. Depends on. I guess it probably depends on where I put this resistance line. Let me dial it in on the lower time frame. I only have it from there. Yeah, maybe it did. If I put it right to there, that could be the retest. Where it hit it here is resistance, support, broke through. I mean, I will really zoom in. support, support, breakthrough, resistance, support, support, breakthrough, resistance, breakthrough, support, 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 pump. Yeah. If I go to back up to the hourly, let's see what that looks like. I guess it did. To answer your question, I guess I might have just had, I had this green line here at the top of this, which also does kind of make sense as well. But if I really tighten it up and bring it to this resistance line, then it looks like it did break through and retest as support. So it probably will not be coming back right now. Thanks for pointing that out.
So what are you setting your stop loss at?
On Ethereum, I moved it to 4190. 0.85 to be exact. Here it is right here. 4190. That's 56% in profit. Let's go.
What's your take profit for
I
Ethereum?
have the TP up here at 47.33. Let me go and fix that over here too. Let's look at XRP. XRP might be breaking out of this overall downward trending resistance line as well. I mean, there has been a couple times, guys, where it did get above this line. And let me just go all the way back and make sure I got this in the right spot. A lot of people look at this sometimes and like, well, Nico, it looks like the top is up here. Or what about these two breakouts here? So what I try to do is I try to touch the majority of the wick to the upside, the majority of the highs, and get them all in first. And then I go and look. Okay, so what do we got here? This one comes over. If I zoom out, okay. Boom, boom, breakthrough, support, support, breakthrough, resistance, 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 resistance. And here it was resistance because it wicked up, but it never held above it. And you can see it did hold below it a couple times. So let's just dial that in and bring it over. And I could bring it down here. It didn't touch either of these. And why am I going right through the center of that? So let me just dial this in a little bit. And it's also sometimes when you move around to different time zones, the lines get a little wacky sometimes. So let me just see if I can touch these as well. If I really touch these over here, these here, I mean, leaving all this the same, and I touch these, then it does look like we hit it, breakthrough, support, support, fall back below, resistance, go back above, fall back below, resistance, 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 break above, support, support, pump. But these, it broke out and came back. So that's why I'm saying that can happen again. Getting above this line doesn't mean anything unless we get higher highs. So as you can see, this high right here was not higher than this one when it hit that. This high right here was not higher than this one. This one was not higher than this one. And this one right now still needs to get above this one. Because if it doesn't, then what happens is it just falls back down. Tries, breaks out. We had a breakout, couldn't get above this one, fell back down, bounced, couldn't get above this one, fell back down, bounced, couldn't get above this one, fell back down. Now we got the double bottom here. So this wick all the way down to here and this double bottom right here is a good indication that we are done bouncing down here. And then we did break out again here. And that's technically a good indication as well. So let's get rid of that and bounce a little bit of a W action here. We are breaking out. I would say that this is positive and it is a bullish flag. And you know, we want to see it break out of this line up above as well. The only problem with this bullish flag is that it's kind of a upward trending wedge kind of situation. That would be a nice breakout to a higher high here. Then it would need to hold support above that. But just getting above this would be good. And then the next one after that. Next one after that. These are just the different levels of resistance going up. More up here. But we got to get through you got to get through those first ones. As you can see up here, we have resistance, and support going all the way back to there. So I am long on XRP. I'm gonna put a stop loss in here at right now. I'm not gonna put it into profit, but I am gonna put it pretty close to my entry at $2.85. Only 13%. That's right here below my entry. I could move it into profit, but I want to give this time to consolidate because if this can't, you see how these candles are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That's weak. It's weakness. It did get a little higher than this hump right here, but is it going to hold above it? So I'm going to take this bottom of that flag right there. Just bring that over here. That was the resistance most recently. Let's see if it holds above that. We do have a little bit right there. If you notice that wick right here, boom. And we have a ceiling here. So this could just be the flagpole. This could be the flag. And that could just be the flag right there.
Hey, Nico,
Yeah.
on a scalp, what would you jump out at?
Depends on your entry. Did you already get in?
No, not yet.
I mean, well, if you're not in a trade right now, in profit like I am, I mean, I could scalp this right now and just get out and I'd be, make a profit. But I would say you would want to wait for either a retest of the bottom of this flag or a breakout of this top part of this. Because as you can see on the hourly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours underneath this line right here. And they've wicked up to it and hit it as resistance. So if we break through that, that line is right there at $2.94. It also does appear to be kind of upward trending. So we are coming into a wedge, kind of like an apex. But if it breaks to the downside of this little wedge apex, I'm going to wait to see if it holds here and bounces, because that could then then I would just get rid of this apex and just keep this as a channel flag instead of a rising wedge flag. Sometimes it's too early to tell.
Hi, Nico.
As
Can
far
I
as
ask?
yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Nico. Yeah, I was just wondering to understand the open position down below, the two lines below. If you were to close the position, do I understand well that it's the profit that you would have, it's 290 positive plus the negative of 2006? It's small, so the first position would be a loss, if I
Nope.
understand well.
No, this is profit $290, and this is the fee $2.06. So once this is traded, if I close this trade right now, it would be 290 minus the $2. That's not 2,000. That's $2.06 USD.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's because it's too small. Sorry, I
Yeah,
don't see
yeah, it's
that well.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So over here, realized P&L is your fees baked in. So, and this is your unrealized P&L. So unrealized is because I didn't take the profit yet. I didn't close the trade out yet. It's still going. And over here is my total P&L. If you count both of these trades, the total is right here that I'm in the green. If I close both of them out right now, I would get $324 minus $2 for this one and $1.62 for this one.
Okay, so the realized P&L, the fees over there, they're gonna stay flat. They don't change with the fluctuation of the price, right?
They can change depending on how long you're in the trade. So there is holding fees as well, and that's, I think, daily. Anybody got any more? Bill, you got insight on that?
Yeah, so the funding fees are usually 0.01% of your total contract size. They get charged after you're in a trade for 8 hours, and then every 8 hours after that you get charged. As long as you're in a high volume coin, those fees are very, very tiny.
Yeah. So if you want to know, click the Phemex button in the upper left corner here. It's going to take you to this page. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and products and support, come down to fees and conditions. And futures, your futures, it depends on your VIP level and everything. Futures, maker fee and taker fee. For me to enter a position, it's 0.0036%. Very low. And close the position, 0.04%.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right, this is the BCC margin. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Maybe this is a good one for Bill. On a different strategy for the RSI strategy that I think Jake does. I have a question about if you're trading multiple coins, right, on cross.
Yep.
And let's just say that one of the coins that you're trading goes to zero. Would that wipe out your whole entire account? Or if you're in profit in the other coins,
right,
will it actually hold up and not wipe out your account? How does that work in cross?
So if you're planning it carefully in the first place, you would never wipe out your account, even on cross. You'd keep your trade size within reason so that you don't have a liquidation anywhere near where you're playing. And then if a coin did go to zero or get delisted, it has happened to me. So I've played this game for a while. Then yes, it will drag it down, right? By whatever that value is, it'll drag it down. But if you have other coins in profit and you're playing the game well all the other ways, and you're going to be up, yes.
Okay, that's what I figured, but I wanted to get that question answered. And it was just about delisted, because if you actually have less margin and trade less contracts, then a lot of the times you won't have a liquidation at all in cross if you're actually managing it. So that's why I was asking about more of the delisted thing, because I see a lot of those coins, they end up going high and then they go low and then you don't see them anymore. So I wanted to, before I actually try it, I wanted to know the answer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the other way around that is if you do want to play a little heavier, then set stops. Set them drastically far away. If you're trading at 100x leverage, then 1,000%. So that's 10% move. Just set a stop. Make sure that way there's no catastrophes. There's no, drastic. I got delisted and no, you got stopped out at a really deep level. You're safe. You protected your funds. You can do that. That's probably a better idea than just running wide open on cross. After 2 years, I'm going to tell you that's a better idea. That's what I do now. I have a very deep stop loss that if I'm sleeping and the coin gets delisted or a whale comes into Phemex and just messes with things, I get taken out and I'm safe.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed some, people are trading without stop losses and that type of thing. But I understand the concept of if you trade many coins, and of course, some of the coins going to be in profit. Some of them might be a little negative. So it kind of keeps you in the game, but I understand. Okay.
The Jake strategy specifically, because I don't know if Nico knows this. I build an indicator for Jake's strategy. I've been testing it out. It's pretty much killing it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He doesn't use stops. He'll go into drawdown. If it meets the rules of his trade setup and it goes against him, he'll ride the drawdown and he still wins 100% of his trades. He just has to ride some drawdown sometimes. If you're very careful about your bet size and say the signal goes off and it's wrong. It goes up for a while. Well, you could double down if you were very careful about your trade size, because eventually, according to Jake, in the last however many months he's been doing this, it's going to come back down. Right?
Yeah.
It met the rules. It's going to come back down eventually. So just be careful with your trade sizes, and you guys can play this game forever and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually just waited, and now I'm about to pad my account with even more funds, now understanding like how a lot of things work. And I've tried different strategies and they've worked, even Alec Nico's strategy. So now it's just actually, when you understand it, now it's just, getting more money so you could trade with less money instead of more money,
Right.
So
Yep. That's exactly right. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. And Bill, if you'd like, on Friday, if you want to, I'm gonna, unfortunately, I'm gonna be on a plane probably I don't think I'm gonna land in time to do the Friday call, but if you want to go over that strategy this Friday,
I
in
will.
place of me, that would be awesome. And that way people can get another perspective of a very, very successful strategy, guys. My goal is to teach you the basics, and not just the basics, but also an intermediate and advanced technical analysis, TA, which is understanding the charts, how to read a chart, how to look at a chart, like I was just drawing here, and look at all the support and resistance levels. We are breaking out. I'm about to enter a Bitcoin trade right now because we're breaking out of a major support and resistance level at the 117.3 range. We are climbing above it. Now, I do see a long wick right now, and what I want to see is it hold as support above this, and then I will enter a long position. But also, I went up here and I drew arrows showing where the next resistance level is, and that is at 122.2, probably 122.222, if you want to be precise. And why? Because if I really zoom out and you look at all these arrows, I don't know why the arrows moved on me, but you'll see right here, we have resistance, resistance, resistance. We did pop up a little bit here, and that's when we hit the all-time high right there at 124.5. But we came back down. First, we had resistance here at 122.22. We went through it, held support, and popped up to 124.5, came back, hit it, and then went through it, and then hit it as resistance before dropping. And if we go back farther, you'll see over here, the first time we came up, we hit it, and we popped up to 123.2 or something like that. And we held as support, fell through, and held as resistance. So that is the first. That's why I draw the line where it is. I don't just put it right at the top of the wicks, although you can, but I like to be a little bit more precise. So we have, and then here, where are we? Now, this line down here is the 117.3. And obviously it was resistance, support, 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 support. Yes, there's sometimes when it wicks below, but if it doesn't hold below and comes back above, then that is the support. So let's just zoom out so you can see it. Support, support, wick below, but did not hold, went back above, bounced, went below, resistance, 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 went back above, support, 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 resistance, resistance, support, 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 went below, went right back above. And then resistance, resistance, support, 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 dropped resistance. Started to come down, came back up and retested it, resistance. Came down, 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 came all the way back up, retested it, resistance, resistance, resistance. Came down and came back up. And now we're going through it. So this is good. This is positive. But is it going to go through? Is it going to pull one of these where it just wicked above it a little bit and then come back below? Or is it going to finally be time? Well, there's a couple ways to determine whether it's finally time. Let's just zoom out and see. Well, we do have some upward trending, interesting upward trending support, support, support. Let's just keep bringing that over. Depends on where I put this, I guess, but. Interesting. Now my line's getting all messed up here. Let me go to a higher time frame. Something's wacky's going on here with it's probably because I got all this mess going on. Let me just start over.
You know what's weird is last night the higher the price went up, my liquidation moved up. It moved up all the way above my entry even. The higher the price went up, the higher my liquidation moved up. But when I looked on the in the right where it said the liquidation number, it still said way back down below.
That is weird. Your
I took a
liquidation,
picture of it. It's weird.
yeah, your liquidation is, you mean on the screen, the line was moving, but down here, the dollar amount was staying the same?
Sorry, it would be on your left hand side where it says your liquidation price. Like if
Yeah,
you have
down
an
here.
open trade.
Estimated
Above,
liquidation.
oh yeah, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at on the left side, like right above where your short button is.
Oh. Over here?
That is estimated liquidation price right there, but you don't have one there because you're not in the trade right there.
Are you trading on isolated or cross leverage?
Cross.
That might be why. You can ask Bill about that.
Say it again.
He's trading on his liquidation was moving around and he's trading on cross leverage.
So if the price is going against you and you weren't careful about how much margin you had, it's possible that
I was way in profit. I was way in profit and it came above my entry. So the higher the price, it was literally moving with the price.
the only way it moves is if you're adding contracts. Are you adding contracts?
No,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't move. Look, once you set the
No, that's what I'm
liquidation,
saying. The number was staying the same as where it was originally, but the liquidation, I have a picture of it. I'll show you. It's way.
So the number, the actual price of the liquidation was the same, but on the chart, the line.
I think it was just a glitch or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's crazy. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. Anytime you guys, seriously, anytime you ever have a weirdness like that, go right to Phemex. They love to change the UI. We've all seen that. Just turn in every bug.
How do you screenshot again? I couldn't figure it out last night.
So if you're on a PC, for me, it's easy. It's Control print screen or Alt print screen, and then I can just paste it.
I was trying to press Control Alt print and was
Also, guys, look at this on the screen right now. I can either use a snippet tool, which I have down here. I click it and it brings up this, and I can just click new and I can take a screenshot like this.
Oh, cool.
Or you can just come right up on the chart, right up here on the top right corner of the chart, right there, snapshot.
Yeah, when I did that snapshot, it wasn't showing my entry or my liquidation. It wouldn't show, but it showed my lines, but it wouldn't show like my drawn lines, but it wouldn't show my entry lines or my stop loss or anything like that.
Do Alt print screen. It should work.
Gotcha. So I took a picture with my phone, so I'll show you later.
Right on.
Yeah, and then right up here, guys, where the little question mark is on the top right corner, click that, click on support or help center. Support is very quick. I mean, as soon as you click on it, boom, it pops up here. You can ask them questions live right on you about what's going on and what you're seeing, and they will help you quickly. If you need to actually get someone, a real person, they will jump on as well.
Yeah, they're awesome. Support's always very helpful.
But no, I was well in profit. I should have left them open, but I didn't want to be greedy, and I made my few $100 and went to bed.
Right. All right, let me see. You got any more questions? Hopefully we do a pre-review of RSI BS on the basics call today. Okay, download pre-shot. RSI BS, did you mean that way? RSI bullshit? Or does that mean something else that I'm not aware of?
That's funny. I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, he might have meant something else. I'll leave it there.
That's beginner suite.
Oh, that's right. That's what I called it. Because it's a suite of tools. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'll change the name to RSI with signals. That's what I'm going to change the name to.
No, it's funny now that we know what it is. Just now you can
Yeah.
remember beginner suite. It's BS.
That's right. It's hilarious.
That's funny. Sometimes I'm a little slow, guys. I don't know all the lingo. Like
Hey, when we're beginners, we're all full of BS.
I wrote it and couldn't remember.
Then when you get good, you don't remember some of the shit you used to know. You know, you go into the doctor's office. I don't recommend you do this, going to doctor's office, unless you have like an emergency, like you need stitches or something, or if it's a trauma, like a car accident. But you ask a doctor something these days, and they are chat GPTing it. They are Googling it. They do not remember what they learned in med school. Most doctors, they don't even know. They have to ask the all-knowing oracle what the answer is.
My doctor that I go to now, he's a naturopath and a regular doctor. The dude's he's really, really bright. Would not get on ChatGPT. Like I convinced him to start using ChatGPT because he's wicked smart. He knows everything anyway, but he was doing everything the hard way. I'm like, bro, listen, this thing's gonna change your whole life, and now he uses it. So I think it helped. It helped him work on my back for sure.
I'm sure. That's funny.
Hey, Nico, are you thinking of going back into Bitcoin, or are you waiting for a better entry?
I am going to, as soon as I see that it holds above that level, I'll get back to it here in 1 second. Let me just check something here. Un momento, por favor. All right, guys, sorry about that. I'm going to go over to Trading View. A lot going on here. What is going on here? What did I do? Oh, this is CME futures. That's why.
Just a question for you guys. What do you guys think about the Ryzen 7 laptops? Are they pretty good?
I think so. I'm not sure. I have Alienware, which is a gaming computer. But anybody else know anything about it's Ryzen, right? Ryzen.
Ryzen with a Z. RYZEN.
Yeah. I've seen it, but I'm not sure. Never had one.
I think that's a better question for the GPT. I don't know.
Chat GPT. Yeah. Yeah, I would Google. So what we have, let me just answer this. I personally have a Alienware, which is a gaming PC. I choose the gaming PC, and same here on my desktop. I have a Cyborg something. I can't remember what it is, but it's for gaming. And the reason why is because the gaming PCs can handle a lot more graphics. And with these charts and all of the different tabs that I like to have on, I like to have a lot of capacity to handle a lot of graphics simultaneously. So gaming PCs are generally good for that. There's also some websites, if you Google day trading computers, you will find websites that custom build day trading PCs and laptops specifically made for day traders with the right amount of RAM or the right amount of computing power to handle the graphics of real-time data transfers.
I do graphics and video editing, so I have an Alienware just like you. Now my question is, should I get another screen added onto the screen that I actually have with the Alienware?
Is it a laptop?
Yes, it's a laptop, correct?
I mean, you don't need another screen, but it is
Okay.
cool. And if you can afford it, I would. Yeah, they have those now where you can ABEX. I don't know if you guys ever seen ABEX, but they're pretty cool. You can just snap on two monitors on each side of your laptop. EBEX, I think it's called. Can't remember. Let me just see if I can find it here. So you just snap these on to each side of your laptop, or you snap it onto the back of your laptop, and you can you'll have one screen on the left, one screen on the right, and not bad. So it turns your laptop into this.
I just got one of those off Amazon and it works pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can turn the left screen or the right screen horizontally, I believe. You can take it with you anywhere. And now the only question is does it fit? Like I have an 18-inch Alienware laptop, which is I think on the highest end, the biggest screen for a laptop. So I'm not sure. You'd have to check the dimensions first if this can fit on that. I don't know what size you have, but and these screens are a little smaller. I think they're like 9-inch or something like that. The ones on the left and the right, but it is cool. It does give you a little extra screen. You can move stuff around, and it is helpful on a laptop. I mean, on my laptop, I just have the one screen upstairs, and I still have 100 tabs open because it's a high-powered gaming PC, so it can handle the extra tabs. So if I just want to move from, this tab to this tab, I just click a button on the top. I don't have to really have them all open at the same time.
Of course.
But it's a personal preference, guys. I mean, I traded for years with just an old Dell computer and one of those monitors that was like a foot deep in the back, those big boxes before they had
brick
flat screens.
monitors.
Yeah, before there was flat screens. Yep. And it still did quite well. So it's all.
I have a question regarding XRP.
Yes.
Hey, so I in the short term, I've met my short-term goal of just stacking up 1,000 XRP coins. That's kind of how I wanted to start this whole thing, based on some of the things you said. But I was watching this YouTube video last night, and they talked about public XRP versus private XRP, and the idea being that the public XRP, which is sitting around $2, wasn't going to move much, and the real mover was going to be the private XRP. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard of that?
Well, the XRP, the company, the main people behind XRP, they do have a private ledger, and if someone wanted to buy $1 billion, like if a big corporation or a bank wanted to buy $1 billion XRP or 100 million XRP or something, they could technically sell it to them, and it would not affect the current price. However, they only have so much. And once the usage of XRP, in order for XRP to handle $1 million a day, we would only need one XRP worth of $1 million. Let me just put it this way. if there was $1 million a day in transactions around the world, then XRP was going to be the infrastructure to handle that. The price of XRP would be $1 million, but we would only need one XRP to handle it. So in order to handle trillions of dollars a day in funding, I think the established agreed upon price behind the scenes was established at $10,000 per XRP. XRP probably would be close to that price right now if it wasn't for all of the hiccups and SEC challenges along the way. By the way, it started back when Bitcoin started, about the same time, and it's had just as much time to grow like Bitcoin did. But because of, you guys probably remember, some of you who have been around a while, that for years, XRP didn't move because it was under litigation. It was being sued. It was being stopped by the SEC because it was, there was issues with it being a commodity, or whether it was whether it was an investment or a commodity. I'm sorry.
Correct. It actually dropped when all that happened.
Yeah, and it dropped, and it just kind of, people gave up on it. They thought there was trouble. But after all of this got cleared, which happened most recently when we were at 49 cents, and the SEC's dropping these charges, Trump becomes president, all of a sudden, they're doing away with all these strict regulations. XRP now is, in the news, doing all the things behind the scenes that it was planning on doing all this time are now not just going to happen, but they're in the works. They're actually in the process of being set up. XRP is already 20x. I mean, it was a penny. It was not that long ago, not very expensive. I don't think I can pull it up on.
Hey, Nico.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Right
That's
here.
what I was going to ask you about. What about the new, what Swift just announced about they're building their own, introducing their own blockchain base, and now the word is it's not going to be XRP.
Yeah, that makes sense that they would try to do that, but they're still going to need the XRP infrastructure. They're still going to need the Ripple backbone, in my opinion.
Right.
And they won't even be able, and that still won't, even if they were to do it, it would not be able to handle the world's, that would be still only a small part of the transactions around the world, Swift network. There are hundreds of other networks that handle the rest of the transactions around the world. It's kind of like Visa. If Visa decided that it wasn't going to work with XRP anymore, well, there's still American Express, Discover, all the other ones, all the other options. But just like governments, if China says they're putting a ban on Bitcoin, you remember they did this already. They banned Bitcoin, they banned crypto. And what happened to the value and the price? Nothing, hardly anything. I mean, it did dip a little bit when that happened, but if you get one country that's totally not going to participate in something, then it might just be a matter of time before they come back around. But I don't think that, I think that with everything that's already in the works, from what I understand, is that that is possible, that they will have a backup or their own CBDC coin, their own liquidity, token to be able to handle those transactions that may not include needing the XRP blockchain or ledger. That is possible, but I don't think that would stop XRP from going into triple and maybe even quadruple digit numbers eventually. And I'm not even talking about a long time from now. I'm talking about like by the end of 2026, possible 4-digit XRP.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, I don't really know. I don't have all the answers, but
I follow a couple of, about 3 or 4 that I really appreciate. They're genuine, and 2 of them are saying it's not going to matter, and 1 is saying it's XRP. It's kind of blunted it. It's going to hurt it a little bit. So thought I'd get your input too.
Yeah. I don't subscribe. There's a lot of fear out there, and there's a lot of people trying to shake people out of their holdings as well. So
yeah,
that could be
I thought that
misinformation.
too.
Yeah. They would love for you to just sell all your XRP. They would love, and that's why when it drops back down to $2.60, like right here or here, when it dropped down to $1.92, or here, when it dropped down to $1.60, they want you to think, oh, this is bullshit. They've been saying this for years. It ain't never going anywhere. Meanwhile, back here, it was 38 cents right here. And this was only 2 years ago. So if you look at it from that point of view, it's 10x in the last 2 years. If it 10x is again in the next 2 years, we're looking at $30, $40, and that's huge. And if it 10x is again after that, but I don't think it's going to take years for all that to happen, because now that the restrictions are off, and now that the infrastructures are almost completed, it is going to be like a flip of a switch situation. I don't think you're going to wake up and it's going to be $10,000 and you're just going to be mega rich. I think that, but you could wake up and it could be $20. That could happen. It could go to $20 to $50, and then over the next coming months, because of that, you'll see mass adoption and huge amounts of people piling in. But there will be a
Yes.
limited supply at that point, so you got to be careful, guys. There will be
Yeah,
a limited supply. Go ahead.
That's exactly what happened with Bitcoin. No different. It kept growing, and it got to the point where they shook people out. So some of the crypto people started passing away. Ironically, kind of weird. And then a lot of people got shooken out. They got scared. The forex situation hit. People dropped out, got rid of their crypto, thought it was a scam, and we're just watching XRP again gonna be another leader.
Yeah.
A lot of people still aren't paying attention because they're still caught up in the scams. And man, I just tell you, hold, and do what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna grow.
I would say exactly. Thank you for that, Carl. I would say ignore all the noise, guys. Just ignore the noise. Stay steadfast. Hold. Continue to accumulate. And we can't go from pennies to $3 in a couple of years and say that nothing's happening. That is a huge return. Let's just look at it. Let's just look at what the overall. Let me go and look at something else real quick and see how much has.
It had a crazy move in 2018, right after Bitcoin hit 19,000 for that first all-time high. Like a month later, XRP went from 25 cents. I got in there around that frame. I don't remember how much I put in, and it went up to that 340 range, like in a week. I remember I took my principal out at $3 and played with the rest as house money, and I'm still sitting on it, even though after the litigation and stuff, it's like, what was the point of selling it? It's like I've got free XRP, so I've added on cents, but it's still like 75% free. I might as well hold it.
Yeah. So if you go back, I can't share my screen because it shows my balances and all that stuff. But if you go back to January of 2014, so we're talking about 11 years ago, going on 11 years, XRP was 0.02 cents. So it was 2 cents. And let's just see. Right now it is $3 and $2.94 divided by 0.02.
Hey, Nico.
Yes, go ahead.
What's your impression about the Tesla coin? You know anything about it?
I have not.
I noticed within 2 days it went from like $52 to about $3,000.
On what platform?
Tesla. Is Elon Musk pumping it or something?
He's never mentioned. I've never heard him say anything that he has his own coin, and it's not on any platform I can see. So, who is showing you that it went up that high?
I'm looking at CoinMarketCap.
Does anybody else know about Tesla coin?
I hadn't heard of it.
Tesla.
In the same spelling of Tesla.
Even on Coinbase, Tesla tokenized stock, which is $462. That's a tokenized stock for Tesla. So that could be a scam. I don't know where you heard about it at. You got to be very careful with this stuff.
Okay.
Where did you hear about it?
I'm just looking at it on CoinMarketCap.
All right, let's go over there and look at it real quick. I'll share my screen and see. There's Tesla AI, but that's not even a fraction of a penny. Yeah, I don't see any Tesla crypto. There's a $37 million market cap for TSLAX, which is Tesla tokenized stock, which is $462. There's nothing in the thousands. So let's just go over to coin market cap.
Can you share your screen, please?
Yes. Oops, hold on one second, guys. Try now.
Some of those are actually legit. In the Tangent, they started offering like the tokenized Apple, tokenized Tesla. So it's a new thing, but it is legit.
I don't think it's Elon Musk. All right, so here it is. There's Tesla. So
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yes. Hello?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what happened. So Zoom kind of freaked out for a second.
Dude was on his phone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me go back to share my screen here. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at here, to be honest with you. 3,000. I mean, I don't know what just happened here then. That was a 632% pump just today.
That's what I saw.
Did you see the message in red, that red line above? So they're not connected with Tesla.
Yeah. That's why I was saying what I was saying, because I know that he did not put it out.
I
So
didn't see it.
interesting. This is the daily. What price are we on this chart? So yeah, I would be very I don't even know where you would buy that. Maybe there's a website. So
I smell a pump and dump.
yeah, I do too. I would be very cautious with those kinds of things. Somebody pumped it. Let me go back to this is strange. Let me see if it's available. I'm going to copy the contract address here, and then I'm going to go over to oops, keep going to the wrong one. I'm going to go over to Dex Tools. Type it in up here. There it is. So you can, this is it right here. There's the chart. This token has either low score or low community trust. Dex team won't be responsible for your investment. Do your own research. If you want to proceed, click on the trade button below. If I click trade, got it. You would need WETH in order to buy this. Wrapped Ethereum. Not even normal Ethereum. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this, but I'm gonna avoid it personally. Somebody's behind it. I don't think it's Elon Musk. Well, I know it's not Elon Musk. He's been asked many times, and he's already answered that a million times. It probably won't be called Tesla either when he does create a coin. It'll probably be called X or something like that. Or he'll just stick with Doge. Probably buy Doge, the company. Rivers, 10 members on Telegram. Yeah, I would stay away from it. Theodore, you would lose the 50. You would lose whatever you risk on it. I don't recommend doing it. But it's not available to trade on Phemex anyway. You'd have to do it in either Pancake Swap or Uniswap or one of those decentralized trading platforms. And it's not you're not trading like this. You're basically just buying it. Well, I mean, on Dex tools here, you can see the chart. So you would have to buy it here. You would have to have wrapped ETH in your wallet, like on MetaMask or Trust Wallet. And then you would connect your wallet to this platform, and then you would buy this with Ethereum, and then you would take the wallet address of Tesla, and you would add it to your wallet. And then, I mean, the address for the coin, the contract address, you would add it to your wallet so that when you buy it, it will show up in your wallet. Then if you want to sell it, you will swap this. You'll click this button right here and put Tesla at top. And as soon as it goes to the moon, up to $10,000, you click the connect wallet button and you sell it back to Ethereum. But chances are this will do the opposite. As you can see, this is I'm on the daily time frame right now, and look at this huge wick down already. So let's go to a lower time frame so you can see what's happening. Yeah, still pumped. Looks like it might even go higher. Interesting. Starting to get one of those curves to it. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with it, but I don't have the time to research it, and I'm not going to risk anything with it because this is not normal. Usually pumps like this do. What's that?
Sorry to interrupt. The volume is really suspicious.
It's
not consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, it went from $400. I don't even know how it was $400. I mean, you can see it pumped back here too. This was just the other day on the 29th. Before that, I mean, it's been around for a little while. Down here, it was $7. So back here, this was the beginning of the month. Let's just keep going back and see how long this thing's been around here. I mean, it started out at a high price, which is ridiculous. Back here, I mean, we're talking about, $15, $7 when it started. It's taken 14 years for XRP to get to $3, but there's billions of, so that means that the total supply of this is probably small. We can look down here and see liquidity is 184,000. That's low. Market cap 9 billion already instantly. Only 3 million circulating supply. So that's tiny in comparison. That's why the price is so high. Only 13,000 total holders. $118,000 in volume just in the last 24 hours. Total market cap 9 billion. That's crazy. Trust score 1. Yeah.
Done money printing, or we won't be doing it till too late in the cycle.
Look at how many times it's done this, guys. Boom, all the way back down to the bottom. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen again.
힘들게 운동해서 다리가 굵어지고 엉덩이가 커져도 정력은 약.
Hey, Mike. I don't speak Chinese. If you could re-answer that question. If that was you really asking a question.
I think it was Japanese, though.
Japanese, sorry. No disrespect.
Actually, it was Korean.
Korean. Moni. I need someone who speaks Korean. What did he say?
Oh, to be honest, I don't speak Korean, but I watch the K-dramas, so there was this familiarity, that's all.
Thanks anyway. Where's my Yi? We have a beautiful Chinese member in our group, but she hasn't been on a live call in a little while, but I'll have to ask her to get on these. She's our Chinese interpreter. All right, guys. So I'm gonna have to hop off. I got another call coming up at 1:45, but we got a basics call starting at 2 p.m. So I highly recommend you guys get on that. That is a great call for not only beginners, but even if you have been around for a while and you just need to get a refresher on the basics. And also, Bill has a lot more answers to questions that you might have. That I think a lot of people are scared to ask questions on this call. I don't know why. You guys can jump out and ask anything you want on these calls. Don't feel like, oh, I'm too new or this is a dumb question. There is no such thing as dumb questions. Everybody's here to learn. And a lot of times your question is a lot of other people's question. They're just scared to ask. So please ask questions on these calls. But what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing Ethereum that we broke. I mean, XRP here that broke out of a downward trending falling wedge. It did hit the bottom of the upward trending support and bounce. We do need to get above the $2.99. I would say $3 level right here and hold above it. That's what I'm waiting for. And let's go look. I'll just give a quick update on Ethereum as well. I am in an open ETH position. I am up 87% on this one right now. And I did move my stop loss into profit and it is still pumping. We got a little bit of ways to go. We need to get up here to this level right there, which is the $4,459 level. We're at 43.13. We got a little ways to go here. And Bitcoin, I was about to enter a Bitcoin position. Let's go back and look and see what's going on here. Bitcoin, waiting for it to break and hold above this level. This was the support level at 111. I mean 117. Support and resistance. Let's go down to a lower time frame and see what's going on. Let me look at this also on my Bitcoin margin, a Bitcoin margin chart, because sometimes it just looks okay. This is what we were waiting for. We're waiting to see if it's going to hold above this level. As you can see, it wicked above it and it looks like it might be holding. It just depends. Do I have this in the exact right spot? Let me just go make sure. This line right here might need to come down a little bit right to there. And if that's the case, then yeah, we might be holding above that line. Looks like it wicked above it, held one candle above it on the hourly, another candle wicked really high. That is usually a trend reversal signal, but I am on the 1 hour. And then we have another candle, that red candle, which wicked down to it. So here's what I would want to see. I'd want to see this candle, the next candle open green. So let's go down to a lower time frame, even more, to 10 minutes. And it does look like we might be bouncing here. Wick down to it, green. We do need to start moving up. Nice big pump to the upside. We hit resistance here, support here, retesting here. Is it going to break through? So I will give a Bitcoin signal if I see this bounce and start to go up. I want to see it get above the 50-day moving average, which is this blue line right here. But other than that, I think we might be finally on our way up to retest these highs. Because we did. Let's go look at something else real quick, which is a good determining factor. Let's go back over here. Let me go to trading view. And let's go to, well, let's just look at market cipher while I got it open. Market cipher down here. I mean, we did have a red dot here on the hourly, which is kind of weird because we went up in price since then. We have money flow coming out. Let's just go and look at the daily. On the daily, we had a green dot down here and obviously consequential pump to the upside. The money flow is flowing in. That's good. It does look like it's going up. Everything looks like it's going up. Let's go down to the lower low time frames. We do have money flow coming back up. So, and we are bouncing on the EMA ribbons. Now, this is the 10 minutes, so that's not as accurate. Let's go to the daily and look at that. We are way above the EMA ribbon on the daily. We broke back above. Remember, we flipped the EMA ribbon bearish here. We flipped it back positive here. We flipped back bearish here, and we flipped back above it here. And now we're above. Not only did we get above it here, but we also held above with this candle and above the 50-day moving average and pumped up. But where did we pump up to? We just pumped up to resistance. So we got to break through that, guys. That is the, I would say that if, and we are above it right now. We are a little bit above it, but we got to be above, like I'd say 117.5 and hold as support. I would say we need to hold it at 117.5 as support. Let me get rid of this real quick and do a quick look at the RSI. What's going on here? We have that, and we have the other RSI, stochastic. Okay, so on the regular RSI, on the weekly, it looks like we are coming back up to retest the yellow line, which is the moving average. Right here, we need to get, this is important, guys, because if we could pump up really high in price, we could make a new all-time high. But if this on the RSI on the weekly does not get above this downward trending resistance line, and it just comes up and hits it, like right here, like if we get one more pump, and this goes all the way up to, let's just say 135, the price of Bitcoin. But this on the RSI does not get above this, and it stays below, like you're seeing it here in this little wedge. That might be the last big pump. What needs to happen is if we get a big pump up to 135 and this breaks out of that downward trending resistance and makes a higher high, higher than this one, and gets up to this one and holds that as resistance or support, resistance and then support, then the bearish divergence that we see here is no longer. And there is serious bearish divergence. As you can see, we have a high right here, high right here, higher high, higher high. But here we have a high and a lower high and a lower high. So that's bearish divergence. We would need to break out of this downward trending resistance and get above it and make a new high here. And it doesn't matter what the price is, guys. The price could go to 150 and we still stay down here on the RSI. If that happens, then it's just a continuation of bearish divergence, which generally means we only have so much time left for this bull market. And generally, I don't care whether this time is different or not. Generally speaking, it is the end of the 12-month candle on the 12-month time frame, and that ends at the end of this year, December 31st. Now, I'm going to stick to that unless I'm proven this time is different. Unless we blow through this and that blows through the 158, but that would mean we would need to be up here. This breaks the previous all-time high and gets all the way up here to like the 170 zone, like 180, 177, 180. That's what would need to happen. Certainly can happen. And it's not going to just do it right here, though. It would take time. It would go up here and it would make a new all-time high. 137, let's just say. And then we would consolidate again for a month. And then it would come back up here and break out and maybe come up and hit 170 like that. So that's what's been happening. Right? And we have an upward trending situation.
So I don't mean to sound a little bit, newbie, but so resistance means the price drops is when the price drops on the chart, and then the support is when it remains the same.
Support, look at support like a floor and resistance like a ceiling. So this is the ceiling. Boom. That's resistance. It's resisting. It can't get through. And then it drops all the way down and bounces, but you don't know this floor is here You don't know this floor is here until it bounces and goes back up to the ceiling. Then it hits a top and you don't even know the ceiling is there. Because let's just say it just did this for the first time. It comes up and goes all the way to here and stops, right? And then it comes all the way down to here and stops. And then it comes up to here and stops. Well, that's when you go and grab a line and you draw it and you touch this top right here and you touch that top right there. That's resistance. Now we know that there is 2 touch points on this line, and that is the angle that it's at. Now, what about the bottom? Okay, we only had 1 touch point. Let's say that it came up here and hit that, and then hit that, and then came down and hit that. So what I would do, I would take a line from this one, and I would touch this one. Okay, so now we have potentially a floor. So once it goes up and hits this resistance, and then double tops, hits it again here, boom, and starts to drop, where do I think it's going to go? What I do is I grab that line that I had here, and I just bring it up further. And what I want to do is I want to make sure it's touching the floor here. This wick down right here, boom. This one here, boom. This one here. I want to touch all the bottoms. And then let's just say none of this happened yet. And we were right about here. We hit the top and we double top, hit the top, and it starts to go red. If I'm going to say, hey guys, I think we're going to drop, we're going to short this. I'm going to draw this line all the way down to here. And I'm going to bring this line forward. And I'm going to say, the floor, it's probably going to come down to this level right here, 73.8. Why there? Because not only is that the floor of this upward trending support, but it's also, if I draw a line right there, it's also the previous resistance level. Boom, boom, resistance, 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 support. The support is not only the previous resistance, but it's the upward trending floor.
Okay, so the support is going to be, in this case, it'll be the previous resistance, but the support basically would always be the floor.
Yeah. So if you're not, if we're not looking at this overall channel and we go to a lower time frame, like the 1 hour time frame, support doesn't have to be an upward channel. It could just be, it could be horizontal support, like right here, 112, the 112K range was major support and resistance for a while. So this is Bitcoin. Let's just zoom this out a little bit. So we have resistance here, which is like the 110. We hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. We break out. As you can see, when we broke out here, we retested it as support, was resistance, became support. We went all the way up to a new high up here at 123, and then we fell all the way back down. Let me just see what we did here. Oh, 112. The 112 was resistance, support. And when we came back up and we retried a new all-time high at 124, but when we came all the way down, we hit previous support. Here, we broke through it. So this is not a great example because we have multiple levels of support and resistance. And if I go down and look at every one of them, like right here, and I draw a line there, you can see we had support, support. So what I do in the group and what I normally do on my chart, and you'll see this, is I'll draw one of these. Let me go back and show you. I'll just grab it over here. It's a price range. So rather than having one line showing you where I think support and resistance is, I'll take it from the top here and I'll bring it to where, the bottom of that is. So as you can see, sometimes it hit the top here. Let me get rid of this one. Sometimes it hit the top, the bottom. Sometimes it hit the bottom, 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 top, top, bounced on the top. Let me get rid of that. And then it hit the top again right here, broke through and hit the bottom. Hit the top here, broke through and hit the bottom. Hit the top here, and this time it hit the top, bounce, 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 broke through and hit the bottom. So this is a range. It's a price range between these two prices. Let's say 108.8 and 112. So whenever it gets down to this level, we're looking for support. But it may not be right at the top. It could be somewhere inside of this. So this whole area is support, basically, unless it breaks through. So let's just say this came down and instead of bouncing here, it went through it and then held as resistance. Then what was support becomes resistance. And then we start to think, okay, well then it's not going to go up now. It's going to come down this time. It's going to go down further. So we expect it to hit support and bounce, but if it doesn't bounce and it goes through it and holds as resistance, then we reverse our position, like right here. This is resistance on the way up. So we're expecting it to hit resistance. which means we're expecting it to bounce here and come back down inside this channel. But if it doesn't and it goes through it and bounces on top of it, what was resistance becomes support. Okay, so I know that it can be a little confusing because support, there's no one support level, there's no one resistance level. There are multiple support and resistance levels, but they are usually, you can usually see them very easily. Let me just get rid of all these lines. Can you see where the support and resistance is? Well, I would say this is resistance right here because it stopped right there. It went up and just hit the ceiling right there. Invisible, you can't see it, but why did it stop there? Right? And if I were to put the lines back on, you can see that it hit that, and it also hit it here. If I spread this out, see that it hit it there. And then you can see that it came down and hit stop there. And then over here, it stopped right on top of that. Here, resistance, 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 support. Went through it here, hit it as support, came back down and hit it here as support, went through it, resistance, came up and hit it, resistance, went through it, support. So there's obviously something going on here. So like if I were just to get, I'm going to get rid of all the lines one more time. If I were just looking at this for the first time and you asked me, Nico, where is support and resistance on this chart? I would just start drawing lines based on where these levels are. So here's one. I would just bring this line over, and you can see clearly now after I draw the line that there was resistance there, resistance here, and support here, and support here, and resistance here, and support here, and resistance and support here. Whereas the next one, I would come up, first of all, I would come up to the top up here. I would draw that. That's basically up at the high levels because this is the all-time high. This was the previous resistance. And the reason why I don't draw it up at the very tip top is because I want to see where it held. It went through it, came back below and hit it as resistance. And then over here, we hit it as resistance, and then we hit it as resistance, and then we went above it, held as support right there for a minute, fell back below, and then hit as resistance. So that's where the line is there. So where's the next one? Look at all these other ones. So we have, what about all these? This is kind of support right here, right? Look at all these times where we hit, held, resistance. So we got support, 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 support and resistance, resistance, resistance. And we're kind of coming through that area right now. I would actually bring this up even tighter, right?
Before.
So we got resistance here. You can see where it came up. Boom, support, 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 support. Broke through, resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance, resistance. And we're hitting it right now as resistance. Why? Remember I said I was going to go long if it held the support. It looks like it's breaking back through to the downside. So I'm not going to enter that yet right now. So right now, in a very short period of time, I have horizontal support and resistance. And now I'm going to put upward trending support. So we got support here, we got support here, and we got support here. So as you can see, it hit here, and hit here. This is an upward trending angle. If I bring this back even further, this what used to be could be support or it could be resistance, depending on where you draw this. Resistance, 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 broke through, support, 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 support. So now we have horizontal support resistance and we have upward trending support, which can form what is called an apex. An apex is where resistance meets support. So if this continues to wind into this apex and gets tighter and tighter and tighter, this is what we call a trade setup. Trade setups tend to break out of this. It has no choice, right? It has to either break to the downside and then we will short it, or it's going to break to the upside and we will go long. But right now we're in this. And so because we're so close to this top right here, I'm not going to give a signal unless it breaks out and holds the support. But it is possible that after this long pump to the upside, that we actually come back down and retest this as support. And again, so that's why you're not seeing hundreds or a lot of signals from me in this in the last couple of weeks, is because it's just we're so close to the top. We're in the 116, 117 range right now. We just have a couple $1,000s to go before we're at all-time highs, and we are upward trending. So this whole thing is upward trending. So we're getting higher and higher and higher. And we're getting squeezed into an apex. So this whole thing is a tight apex with upward trending support. So to me, it's just a matter of time before we break out to a new all-time high. Of course, here I will give a great signal there as well.
Hello.
So my charts when I use the word invest when I'm investing, would they have all these marks on it too, or this is just more like a mock-up?
I think you're going to have to draw those yourself. I mean, your financial advisor, if you were doing that, they probably have their own method where they're doing something similar. But if you're investing for yourself, which is what we're doing, you're going to have to figure out, your markups. And, and Nico and Chad kind of give us, pointers and directions, but we still have to make our own decision and pull the trigger eventually. I mean, that's what I'm reading into it.
Sounds good. I was just trying to again figure out the lingo that way I know, when I'm drawing those little broken lines, how to actually really do it. So again, I guess I just have
practice. It's practice makes perfect. Draw some up and compare your charts to what Nico Chad draws up, and see how close you are to them. Sorry, Nico, I saw you were on the phone, so I just
Yeah,
thought
no,
I
it's
couldn't
okay. I
answer.
appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I had an emergency phone call come in. I know it's an emergency when someone calls me 5 times in a row and I haven't answered the first 3 times. But someone asked, what is an apex? An apex is where 2 points come to 2 lines come to a point. So this is considered an apex. This is an apex. This is an apex. Why? Because when we were down here below this level, this was an apex. We have a ceiling, resistance, and an upward trending support. It has no choice but to break either to the downside or the upside. This one broke to the upside. And then we come back down and hit the same upward trending support that we had back here. So this is no longer valid, and we don't need that anymore. And then technically we had another apex right here. We had upward trending support hitting ceilings. Support, support, resistance, 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 broke to the downside. So we don't need that there anymore. And now we still have upward trending support. This one broke out of this apex to the upside. And now we're in it. We're in a different apex now. We're still in the upward trending support, but we have the ceiling here now. So we're waiting to break out of that. Could it go like this and hit this again and then break out up here? Yes. Could it also break out to the downside? Yes. So just because we're in an apex doesn't mean it's going to break out to the upside. We could break to the downside like we did here, but this time it did not hold as resistance. It just went right back above it. If it would have held as resistance, it would have bounced off the bottom of that and started to drop lower. As you can see, this upward trending support has been holding pretty good all the way back to here. But so we're rising in price, but we're coming up against the ceiling, and so that creates an apex. So once we get above this previous all-time high here, this 123 to 124 range, that's a zone, by the way. It's a price range, because if I take that and go up to the very tip top right here, 124.5, that was the highest of the price. That's a range. So we got to come up there and we got to break through that and hold. We got to break through it and hold as support in order for us to get any higher. And until then, this is the barrier. This is the apex that we're in. You can get rid of, if you want to wait for the big move, instead of worrying about scalping, instead of worrying about getting in and out, you don't have to worry about any of these other lines. Just put this zone at the top and this upward trending support at the bottom and wait until the breakout, or wait till it gets close to that, because you don't even have to mess with any of this stuff in the middle. I mean, this is major resistance here. We need to get through it in order to get up to here. But if you want to just get rid of that too, and get rid of all of this, then this is the overall upward trending apex right here that we need to break out of.
So the apex is the upper trending, and then the resistance is the
Apex is just a wedge where the top line, the ceiling meets the floor. So it could be the floor going up like this and the ceiling staying level, or it could be this. It could be like this, where it's the ceiling getting lower and lower and lower, and the floor staying perfectly even. Where the price is going like this, could be coming down and then up and then down and then up, and it's winding into this apex. It's either going to break to the upside or it's going to break to the downside. That's what an apex is. So the apex is just two lines meeting, the yellow lines, coming to a point. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And the price is bouncing in between those lines like it is here. We have a ceiling here and we have a floor here. The floor is getting higher, but the ceiling's staying the same. I can show you, I can just go back on the price and show you many, many different potential apexes. And we wait, that's a apex, what we call an apex breakout. Like for instance here, I'll just draw one here just to show you on a regular chart. This could be a potential apex right here. We have upward trending. We have a ceiling waiting for the breakout. Hitting the bottom, hitting the top, bottom, top, 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 bottom. Boom, breaks out to the top. All right, here's a falling wedge, potential apex. I mean, this is just a falling wedge, but could be. We could look at this as an apex as well. But I would say this is just a falling wedge. Hitting the top, hitting the top, hitting the bottom, top, bottom, breakout. So it doesn't matter whether it's an apex or not, but apexes usually come into a fine point before they, before they kind of get out of there sometimes. But they don't always wait till the very end. So in other words, where we're at right now, guys, the breakout is imminent, meaning it could happen anytime. Doesn't need to wait until it gets to the point. Let me just show you what I mean. It doesn't have to go all the way up to here to break out. It can break out anytime in this apex. But that doesn't change the fact that the floor is getting higher while the ceiling's staying the same. We've had 2 touch points. How do you know where a ceiling and a floor is? It's got to have at least 2 touch points, preferably 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have on the floor, we have resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. So we have more than 3 touch points on the floor, a couple on the ceiling at least. And that's where we're at right now. We're winding into this apex.
So how did you determine the thickness of that ceiling?
Guys, the basics call started just now at 2 o'clock. So get on that. I determined the thickness of the ceiling by looking at the first resistance here, which was at 122.2. You can see the where we hit it. We went into it, held the support, went up to 123.2, and then dropped below it and then retested. That's the bottom. And then over here, we hit it as resistance, which is the bottom. Here we hit it as resistance, which is the bottom. Here we went through it and wicked all the way to 124.5. That was the all-time high. And then we fell back below it and retested it here. So I'm just going to say between here and here is the all-time high instead of that line right there. You could just wait for it to break 124.5, but if it gets into this zone sometime, anywhere in that zone, if it comes up and gets into this zone, hits the 124.5, bounces on the 122, stays inside this zone, holds it as support, chances are we'll be giving long signals here because we think it's going to break out. But if it just comes up here, there's another option. It could just come up here, wick all the way up and come all the way back down, just like it did here, just like it did here. It could do that again and come all the way back down and then get tighter into this wedge first before we break out to an all-time high. That's why I don't want you guys to be so impatient that you feel like you need to overtrade and constantly be getting out. You could just sit on your hands and wait for the big move. The big move is the ultimate breakout. It's either to the top of this or to the bottom.
So then it'd be logical if you got in now, you could hold it to instead of take profit at around 122.
Well, yeah, assuming that it is going to get to the top. I mean, it could fall back down right now. So it depends. Where's your stop loss? If you put a far away stop loss, outside of this upward trending zone. I think that it's a higher risk because you're trading in the middle of an apex or in the middle of a channel. And it is downward trending. So let's just look at this until we did break above this. So we do have kind of a downward trending. We did break above it, but that's not the one that that's not the level that I would use. I would use this as support and resistance right here. Support, resistance, 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 resistance. We did break above it right here, but we looks like we might be falling back below it. So me personally, I would wait for it to hold on. This is a Bitcoin. I would wait for it to hold above 117.5. So which means it needs to go back above this line and hold and start to climb higher than this little line right there. So I would wait. I would want it to get above that. Once I see that, then I know it's coming up to the top. But if it just falls back below this line and starts to drop, then this big pump that we had overnight, if it gets, here's another thing you can do, guys. It's real simple. This is a big apex I just showed you, but you can also draw support and resistance lines or apex lines inside of the big apex. So let me get rid of, let me just block out the EMA for a minute so you can see. You can take an upward trend line support and do like this, right? So we have, this is where it broke out from, and we have support, 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 and then we made a new high. And we're coming back below this line. So this is another apex inside the apex. So if it comes back down, here and it holds underneath this and comes back down and bounces on this, then what you want to do is wait for the breakout. It doesn't matter which direction, guys. That's the cool thing about trading. We want to wait for a breakout. If it breaks to the upside and holds as support, we're going long. If it breaks to the downside, right, and comes back up and retests this as resistance, we're going to go short. That's the scalping. That's what we do at scalping. But there are certain rules. It needs to break to the upside, hold as support, and get higher than where it broke out. If it breaks to the downside, comes back up and holds as resistance, it needs to get lower than where it broke out. That's the rule. That's what you should do. Some people don't listen to that. Some people just, as soon as it breaks out and holds, they go long, or if as soon as it breaks out and hits as resistance, they go short. But you know, just know that there's more risk doing that, because there's a potential for it to not continue to fall lower just because it broke out. It could do one of these where it breaks out. Look at this one. Broke out, came back up and retested, but it did not get lower than where it broke out. There's a good example right here. Broke out, retested, but did not get lower than here. And what did it do? It just came back up. So you should wait for it to get lower than where it broke out. That's my point there. All right, guys, here's what I recommend. I got to go. I got another call. They get on the basics call. Bill posted it in the Zoom chat. He also posted it in, let me just go over to, he also posted it in the, yeah, it looks like we're falling back down. We were up at 118 and we fell all the way back down to 116.6, and we're below that line right now. So possible that we just come back down to this upward trending support. I want to wait to see what happens there. And if that's kind of what I was just showing you on the other chart. But get into the basics call right now. Bill posted it in the trade chat right here somewhere. There it is. He also posted it in the announcements channel right under my announcement. There it is. And check that out. There's a lot of great information. It's basically a continuation of this call with Bill with a lot of extra information for you. I'm in 2 open positions. I have them both shared in the chat, in the Zoom, in the Discord signal channel, but if I go long or change or enter a position on Bitcoin, I will post that as well. All right, guys, been a pleasure. If I didn't answer your question, ask it in the main chat and it will get answered, or you can send me a DM in the Discord. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.